Secondly, I'm just converting this test case again to the page factory. Okay, so I'm just going to this page, home page, and I'll just create a locator for that. Whenever you are getting your, when you start working on any project, so first you have to create a locator here, and then you can start writing the test cases. Okay, that is a step. Okay, so I'll just close this window. I'll just open our the test website. Yeah, it's opening fine. So first I have created locator for this dynamic ID on the home page. As you can see, this is the home page, and I have created this locator for the dynamic ID. Then again, I will create a locator for this class attribute as well on the home page. So first I will create all the locators, and then I will start writing the test cases. Then it will be easy for me. Inspect. So this is a locator for the class attribute link. I'm going to the Eclipse. I will just simply copy this, paste it here. I will just make it as a class attribute. Yeah, it's a class attribute, and then I will just simply copy the XPath. Okay, so this is the first step. I required only these two now. So simply I'll create one more hidden layer as well. This one hidden layer. Simply I'll creating the XPath here again. XPath is created. Again, I'll simply copy this syntax. Don't worry about the page factory. The page factory syntax is only this part. You have to remember this sentence, and you have to use this find by annotation, this one. Okay, so you get everything in the page factory. Paste. Then I'll just make that link name as a locator name as a link hidden layer. Okay, so I have created all the locator which is required for my automation. So that's completed now. Now I'm going for the second, this page, dynamic ID page. I've clicked on the dynamic ID, and I'll just create locator for this or this filter as well. Okay, so now I'm going to the dynamic ID page. So first I'll just simply again copying this code. Okay, I needed these locators, this page factory constructor there as well. Okay, so I'll simply copying this code, pasting it into the dynamic ID page. Now here I just want to change this name because I have copied from another class. Okay, so I'll just copy the class name. I will paste it here to make a constructor. Okay, so I'm not getting any issue here. So now here also I'll use the this actually. So I don't want to replace it everywhere. In homepage also I will make it as a this. Okay, so I'll simply create locator for this button with button ID page now. Button, then text is fine. Then I'll just simply put the text in the single quote. Before that, I will just copy this. I will paste it below, and I will just make button with dynamic ID. Naming convention should be proper. Okay, remember this. Then XPath. I'm just copying this XPath. Now again, I need one locator which is a common in every page. So this header page, header locator. Okay. So I'll create locator for this as well. You should create a header locator in every page, compulsory. Based on that only we can just identify we are on this page. Okay, so this is again header. It's in H3 text. Okay, so previously it was we have created by ID. Okay, now in this case we will just create by the text. Okay, H3 is a header at third level. Okay, I'll just create a H3 and we'll put the text header name. Okay, so I'll just put the XPath here. I will make this ID as a XPath. Okay, so this page header is for only this dynamic ID page. Okay, so I have done this as well. I have created locator for this dynamic ID. Then I'll go for I'll just I will just navigating back. I'm going for the class attribute now. So I want locator from this page, class attribute page. Okay. So I have not created class attribute page. I'll just create a class simply. Class attribute. Because we are putting every locator here in the page, that's why we have to mention this page at the end. Okay. Class created. Again, I'm copying the code from another class because it's a similar pattern we are following here as well. I copied constructor and one locator. Okay, so I'll just correct this constructor name. So I'll just first look for the page header now. Okay, in the page, in the class attribute, I will create locator for this. So again, it's in H3. I will just make a name text change here in the existing XPath. I'm just copying this XPath and paste it into the Eclipse. Okay. So second locator I will create for the button. Now yesterday someone asked the locator is frequently changing, so I will just observe the pattern today. Okay. So now for the yellow, I am seeing class 1, warning, then succession, then primary. Okay. I will just refresh the page and I will just observe the pattern again. So I will not use the index here. Okay, warning, success, primary. Again. Now again I will just check. Warning, success, primary. Today also I'm getting the same thing again. Yes, I'm just getting the unique locator again. Success, primary, warning. Just let me. Success. Yeah, sequence is getting changed. Success, warning, primary. No, it's the same sequence again. Yes, WP. Yeah, now the sequence got changed here. Okay. So in this case, either we have to decide if you want to click on first button, second button, third button. So we can just identify by using class name, class 1, class 2, class 3. Or simply if you want to go with the color. So we should know for primary there is a blue color, for warning there is a yellow color, and for success there is a green color. So if now we will try with the color. Suppose if you want to click on the green button, so we will just create a XPath having the success keyword in that XPath. Okay. So /button @class. I will just create one XPath here and then I will just use the contains keyword there. Okay. I'm just copying. Suppose if I want to click on the green button. So green button is having class name as a success. Okay, now I'll use the contains. I'm just opening the braces here. We'll close this, not this. I have to replace the equal to with the comma. Okay, so now I'll just delete the other part. Okay, so now if you want to click on the green button, so this is the locator for this green button. Okay, every time it will point to the green button. So because it's a button for the success, so I'll just create a locator for that in the our code. I will put name as a button success here because there is same name everywhere for 3 buttons. So I will just make it as a success, button success. Copying this, pasting the XPath here. Okay.
Yogesh, sorry to interrupt you. Can you
Yeah.
can you explain the second line, public web element page header or public web element button success?
This one.
The second line, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, in every page, suppose I'm just going to the website again. There are multiple pages. Suppose dynamic ID page, class attribute page, hidden layer page. Suppose we are navigating to the new pages every time. So we should know on which page we have landed. Okay. For that purpose, we are just whenever we are navigating from one page to another page, we will just verify we are on the right page. That's why we have put this locator here. In the script, whenever we are navigating from one page to another page, we will just put this assertion to check we are on the right page or not. That's why compulsory we are putting this page header in every page.
Yeah, so I got that we are finding it with XPath. That first line is fine. I didn't get that second line, the public web element page header or the public web element button success.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, we should know for which purpose we have created this XPath. There should be some identity, right? So this XPath is for the header. That's why I just provided name page header. Name can be anything. So I just given the meaningful name here. So we know, actually, I'm just going with the old code again. So we can see we are using the XPath, right? This is the XPath, but it don't have any name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we are using this same XPath in every test case, and suppose in future developer have changed some class name or text name, so we have to update it everywhere, right? So in that case, instead of keeping this XPath in this test case level, we are just putting it somewhere in the class level, in the
Mm-hmm.
page. And but we should know what is the actual XPath, for which purpose we have created XPath. Suppose this is for the button, this is for the header, this is just name for this XPath.
Okay.
And everything whichever we are displaying in the UI, that's a web element. Actually, all the things are web element. So this is a data type for this locator.
So it means like we are particularly finding a web path for XPath for button with dynamic, right?
Yes. So when we call this, it will just return the web element for this XPath actually, which is present on the UI. I'm just creating the XPath or web element here in the pages. So I'll just write a test case for that as well.
I got that we are creating it for XPath. We are creating XPath for particular button or particular text. I was just not clear on what the second line means, like public
Okay.
web
These
element
two
header.
lines are combined.
Okay.
So this is just a XPath name for this XPath actually.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay. This is an identity for this XPath. Simply we can say. Simply we can put both the thing in same line as well, but it's not readable. So we are just putting it one by one. Okay, one above one. Fine. Okay,
Yeah.
so we
Thanks.
created XPath for this as well. Okay, fine. Dynamic ID. Okay, and yeah, that's my hidden layer. We can just do it later. Now I'm just again moving back to the dynamic ID page. Okay, so yeah, so we'll start writing the test case here. Now in this case, today we are not using this sysouts statement. Okay, so sysouts statement is just print the console sentences. So we are not using this sysout today. So we'll write a test case according to that. So I'm just deleting the commented core here. Now, by using this first line, I'm just initializing the browser, and the browser will open and you simply hit the URL. Okay. Okay, I'll just close the other windows. Okay. Whenever I'm invoking the home page, I'll just click on the link dynamic ID page now. So I will just click on the link dynamic ID page, and in this I will just verify the button presence. Okay, but this is my first test case to just open the dynamic ID page. Okay, so I will just put one assertion here. So I will just put the simple sentence here, then I will just put into the assertion. Okay, home page dot, now you can see page header dot, we can use the method get text. So get text, what it will return, it will simply return the this value dynamic ID. Okay, get text dot equals what is expected, we are expecting dynamic ID there. Okay, so this should be hard coded. So this is a boolean statement, it will return the boolean. Okay, but now if you are not navigating to this page, our test case should get failed. Okay, so for that purpose I am just putting the assertion here. Assert equal, in that I'll just put this first part, which is we are getting from the UI. Okay, I'm just copying this. Now you can see first is actual one, second is expected one. So actual means from UI. I'm just copying this and pasting it here. And second, which is expected, this dynamic ID is expected for me. I'm just copying this and pasting it into the expected. Now I don't need this sentence. I have just put this sentence to understand you more clearly. Okay. So now if this condition is not matching, the test case will get failed. Okay.
So the assert equals is a function, right?
Yeah, it's a test engine method. Yeah, it's okay, a test engine method from the assert class.
So it will compare the two elements, right? I mean,
two values. It can be boolean, it can be string, it can be character, any parameter it can support. Okay. So now I'm just going inside this assert equal. So you can see the parameter string actual and string expected. Okay. So we have passed this first parameter, which is we are getting the value from the UI for the page header. Now you can see I'm again going to this locator. This is a title. Okay, so it will just search if, let me go to the UI. Okay, it will just look for the that particular locator on the web element, and it will just fetch that particular text from the UI, and it will just simply compare with the expected text. If that is matching, then our test case got passed. Here. Or you are not clear with this flow?
Yes, I have some doubt. Does it mean the line which you have commented writing for the assert equals?
Huh? Actually, your voice is breaking. I think it's a Diksha, right?
So see, you have the line. Yes, I'm audible now.
Yes. Yeah, you can talk.
See, you have combined dot equals dynamic. Okay. So is the assert equals the second way for comparing the strings, or is the difference between that?
Actually, if you want to use this sentence in assert, so there is another method as well. There are multiple methods in the assert. We can use just assert true. Assert. Yeah, you can see assert true method is there. So simply you can use this condition here, or you can go with the first one. This is also fine. I'm just copying this condition again. Simply it will return true or false, right? This line number 30. So this is also fine, or this is also fine. But I'll prefer this one,
Okay.
because it just is more readable actually as compared to this one. It's your choice. You can go with this first or
Okay.
this one. Okay, no issues there.
You're getting the title from home page, which is extending to a method page header, and it will get the text of that.
Yes,
And
yes,
you're manually comparing with header which you saw on the web page.
yes, yes. This is our expectation. It should be hard coded every time. Okay.
The
Because
dynamic ID is written by us. No, sorry.
No. This is a hard coded one. This is we are expecting, and this is we are getting from the UI.
Okay.
Expecting means right. Suppose you got one application for the
But
testing.
the expecting one dynamic ID is hard coded.
Expectation is hard coded, right? Because you know the requirement. You got the requirement. The page header should be dynamic ID, but you don't know what is on the UI. The UI might be changed in the future. So in that case, if it is returning incorrect value, so we are just trying to match this value with the second one. So it might fail in case of defect. Now
Okay,
in
so
the
the expectations is always in the hard coded way.
yes, of course. Hard coded, or we can just take it from the Excel short or in data source, different data source. But ideally in the Selenium, we are using hard coded, because for every page, we cannot provide data from the Excel or any other data source. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yogesh, the homepage.page header.getText. So this method we have created, right? Page header.
This is not a method, actually. This is a web element. I'm just going inside again. So this is a web element. We are just calling this by creating object of homepage. We cannot say it's a method actually.
Okay.
We can say it's a kind of variable in Java language if there is no Selenium. Okay, it's a variable for us.
So which is holding that ID is equals to title, right?
Yes. No. Simply, I will just go it again. Yeah, it's holding, but I will just show the difference. Now in the line number 37, you can see we are using driver.find element by XPath, and we are providing XPath. Okay, and it will simply return the web element from the UI, right? In normal case.
Yeah.
In page factory, what will I do? What the page factory will do? Page factory simply, whenever we are just using the @find by notation, internally it will just use the find element method. So explicitly we don't have to use the find element method. So it will just use the find element method, and it will just return the text or anything which web element present on the UI. So simply you can see page header is simply holding the value of this ID title which is present on the UI. Okay. So getting few questions.
So Yogesh, can we write it? Can we go back to that page?
Yeah.
Page header.
Yes.
Yeah. So can we write it in single line, like public web element page header?
Yes. You can write that, but it's not in readable format. You can simply write this as well. Not problem.
Okay.
Okay. This is supported, but it's we can see it's not in proper format. I'm saying, because sometimes XPath is very long, so this public will go so far from this window.
Okay.
So not recommended. Again, you can use in this way. Okay, so few questions I'm reading now. So from Britesh, how to know that we need to access with the home page header only? Why not from other? Can we use the link dynamic ID attribute? Okay, So it's completely depend on our test case. Now, actually, I'll just go to again here in the test case. Now I know the flow. Okay, so home page is my this one, the basic home page. This one, this is my home page. I know I have to click the dynamic ID from this page, from home page. So I have just called the object of the home page. Okay, this is home page link dynamic ID. So whenever I'm clicking on this, my new page will get open. This one. So actually I have done some mistake here. So I think Ritesh is talking about that only. So whenever I'm clicking on this link dynamic ID, new page get open. So I have to create object of this page now. Okay, compulsory. Because my remaining the button with dynamic ID locator is present on this dynamic ID page. So I missed to create that object. I'll just create object of dynamic ID page. Yes, this one. Dynamic ID page equal to new dynamic ID page. Again, asking for the driver, that's fine. Then we'll simply copy. And now actually we have to verify the header from this page, dynamic ID page, right? So I'll just paste the reference here. So now it will locate to the this dynamic ID. Okay. So this is the correct locator for the dynamic ID. And here also expected is dynamic ID. Okay. So I missed this step. Okay. So again, I'll just copy this reference below as well. This is second way of assertion, assert equal and assert true. Okay. Is that your question, Ritesh? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So this way we can, yeah.
I have some doubt. Why the homepage you have wrote it in the another test one?
Here, where? Here?
Yes, you have used here also and in the second one also.
Yeah, ignore this now. So this is my first test case. We can create multiple test cases, right?
One more test case. Yes, we can write. But what if we write one more test case? Then do we need to create the homepage method again and again?
Yes, you have to create again and again. If you don't want to create, yeah, you have to create actually. There is no option. If you can just make it global as well, but it might create some issue like this. Simply you can cut it from here. You can paste it and make it global, but it might create some issue. So keep it in the test case level only. Okay.
Okay, means we need to call the base page for opening the first homepage and then to perform the other actions like this.
But actually, which base page? You're talking about this or which base page? Actually, we are not directly calling any base page.
Homepage.
Yeah, we are calling the home page. Yeah, base page we can say, right? Yeah, because from there only we start the navigation, right?
Okay.
Our execution start with that page only. So we have to use this page first, and then we have to go ahead with the next page, subsequent pages.
Okay, yes.
And the benefit is that of this page object model. Suppose our application is not yet developed, okay, and suppose you have to write the manual automation test cases. You can simply start writing the test cases, automation test cases, without the application, only with the flow. Simply, you should know what will be the present on the UI. Suppose you know this will be one page, and this will be one button on the page. You can simply write up flows and locators without the XPath. Suppose you should not mention this when the application is not developed. You can simply keep it blank, write your test case, and keep your code ready. And when the application is ready, you can simply put the XPath at required position, and you can execute. You can just save your time, automation time. In that case, okay, we can say that is early automation. Yeah. Tell me.
Okay. And also, does it helps like if you like the multiple test cases, then we can pass on the different opening browsers in the same test case?
By using TestNG, we can do that, but at different time actually. Suppose we can open Chrome at one time, and after that Chrome closes, we can open the Firefox as well.
Yes. Okay. So it is done by the test ng.
TestNG, yeah, TestNG XML file.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so fine. Okay, so just remember that whenever we are using this find by annotation, this is at that find, it just support the find element method, only find element. It will just find the single element. Okay, but by chance, if you want to require find the multiple element, so we have to use the find elements method. Okay, so I'll just tell for that. I'm just reading the question first. Yeah, so Ritesh asking, is there any code reusability concept in this framework? So of course we are using the code. Suppose now in this case, in dynamic ID test, we are using this link dynamic ID in this page only. Okay, so this same XPath, this code can be used in any different test cases as well, in different classes as well. So we are just keeping this common. If you want to access this web element, we have to simply create object of homepage and we can use that in any classes everywhere. Of course, this is a reusability. Okay, fine.
What you said about the find elements?
Yeah, find element means like see, there are two options. I will just put it in the code level at it directly. Now you can see existing test case driver find element. Okay, find element what? It will just return the one element. You can see find the test web element using this given method. Forget about this actually, it's having very long. Okay, so it will just return the one web element. And when we are using the find elements, there is one element, one more option, driver. I will just put it here. Find elements. You can see second method, this one. It will just return that list of web element. Now, where we can use this, I will tell you. Then I will just implement this find elements. Suppose my requirement is that I have to find all the links present on this page. Okay, not a single link. I want all the links present on this page. So I'll just simply create locator for this. I know link means it should be in anchor tag. You can see link are always in anchor tag. Okay, so I will simply put //a. So how many links are I'm getting now? 19. Okay, so whichever I required, only I required this from w3schools.com till this Stack Overflow only. But I'm getting some extra link from this this website, this Apache license, this repis, this, but we don't want this. Okay.
Sir, we are using the code here like again and again, right? So we are
Yes.
calling home page object. Can't
Yes.
we directly call the element object? Because
This you're talking about,
yeah.
how we can call this? We know that we have put the web element in the home page.
Sir, if we initialize a method, okay, and then after we will call that method, and inside that method we'll put that object. So
Of
we
course,
cannot.
yeah, but for calling the method also we need to create object, right?
Okay, because if we are creating a home object, right? So there are so many things: title, then dynamic, then this one, web
Yeah,
element, then attribute. So
yeah.
it will call entire.
No, 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 no.
Entire, no?
We are
No.
just creating the object, but whichever we require, we will just use the object reference and then we will call
Okay,
respective
okay.
web element, not
We
all
are
the things at once.
identifying. Okay, okay,
Yes,
got it.
yes, yes. That's why you can again see the code. We have just created the object, and by this object, we are just calling this link dynamic ID here.
Yes,
We are
yes,
not
yes.
calling
I can
everything.
see. I can see.
Yep.
Sorry, sir. I got it.
No problem. So I was talking about the find elements use. So suppose this is scenario. So we have to find the link, all the links. So we can use the find elements method. Okay. So I will just go with the first traditional way, how we can find all the links. I'll just create one class here, new class. And simply copying the syntax. Okay, so every time I have to extend with the base test case. For test case, remember we should extend with the base test case. Okay, this is a test class now. This is a test. Okay, so base test case should be extended. Then only I am able to access the driver here. Driver dot find elements. Okay, then by XPath. So I will just put the XPath. Which XPath I will put? I can simply put this a//a. It will simply return all the links present on this web page. But I need only this blue color link, w3schools.com till this Stack Overflow. So I will just identify which extra link I am getting here. This is again learning for the XPath perspective. Okay.
Yogesh, the screen is not visible down the where you are writing the extra.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I will just. Now it's visible or still not visible?
No, it's not visible.
I will just open it again. We'll make it separate. That's fine. Okay. I will type XPath here. Okay, now you can see it is pointing to the UI type as well. I don't require this. Again, I will go for next. It is pointing to home as well. I don't require this again. Resources I don't need. I need this one. Then again, this is correct. I'm going with the correct. You can observe this side as well. Okay, left side. So again, Stack Overflow. Okay, this is fine. But again, I'm getting some few extra links, which is for the website from 16 to 19. Okay, so I don't need this as well. Okay, so I'll just identify the pattern between this link, and then I will just exclude this UI tab, home resources, and the below links. This one, I will just exclude this all the links. So I'll first go for the first, which is a pattern there. So you can see it's a nav bar brand. Again, it's a hidden for me. Yeah. Now it's a navigation bar. Okay, it's a navigation bar class. So I can just exclude the nav bar class here by using the not keyword, not method. Okay, so simply I'll do that first. @class is equal to I will just use the word contains here. Contains, replace equal with the comma. Okay, so I'll put not now. So it will just exclude these three. This just I'm getting only one here. It should. Okay, it's a now. Okay.
The previous line also contains nav bar.
Pardon?
The previous line, that is attribute starting with nav, is also having class as nav bar. Nav bar extend LG. That's why.
Yes. I'm thinking how to remove this now. Okay, because it's a class now. I will just put the now, not nav bar here. Now I'm getting three. Okay, so I'm getting three. This one first UI tab. I'll just go it again. UI tab, home, and then resources. I will simply exclude this. To exclude this, I will just use the keyword not. Not, and in bracket I will put everything. Now I'm getting 16. Okay. Previously I was getting 19. Out of that, these 3 I have removed by using this not keyword. Okay. So now I can just tell you which I'm getting now. Okay. So 1 of 16, I'm getting this WG schools. Okay. So this is perfect. In second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 till 12, it's fine. But I don't want that 14, 15, 16. Okay. 13, 14, 15, 16. That 4 links, which is this one. This first, second, third, fourth. Okay. So I again check the pattern for that as well. What pattern I'm getting there. So now here I can see it's a ID for, then we're just maximizing this window. Okay, this is a div again. This is okay. So now we can see it's in division, div A, but the previous one, the previous links are not in the division. I think it's in different. Yeah, it's in li. Okay, so we have to capture all the links which are present in the li. So I will simply go at the start of the XPath //li. Now how many I am getting? It's a 12. So again I'll check if I am getting right or not. Okay, so it's a 1 of 12. So it is pointing to first w3schools.com, second MDN, then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 12, 10, 10, 11. I just missed the count. And this is 12 last. Okay, so I'm getting the correct links on the UI now, which is expected from my side. Just any conclusion here in this path? Yeah.
Can you repeat it once again?
Okay, I'm just copying this path. So and I just explain it again. Where is the UI? Yeah, fine. So this is the web page. From this requirement is that I have to get all the links, but you should know all the links reside into the anchor tag. But if you don't know, that's fine. You can just inspect and you look for the tag here. You can see every time link will be in anchor tag only. So initially I just put this //a. So I got all the 19. Okay. This is also link in the backend because it's having anchor tag. So these are the extra link. This first 3 I don't want, and this last 4 I don't want. Okay, so I simply observe the pattern of this link in the DOM structure. Now I can see this is under navigation nav tag and then A. Okay, so I'll just go down. It is a line A. So there is no pattern here for this, but I know that in every class I am seeing the nav. Here also nav nav. Here also nav nav. It's navigation. That's why. Then I'll just go for the third one. Again, in the class, I'm seeing the NAV. So I'll simply exclude based on this name, NAV. Okay. So I will just first find out the link and then I will put the negation. Means I don't want this link. Okay. I'll go for the class, and the class is equal to NAV. And then I will put the contains equal to with replace with the comma. Okay, now I'm getting 3 links, you can see, but I don't want this. Apart from this, I want everything for now. Okay, so simply I'll go to the start. We'll put the not function. I will open the brace. I will close it before around the rectangle brace. Now I'm getting 16. Now I'm getting 16 with 16. This from w3schools.com till Stack Overflow plus this 4 link. Okay, now again, yeah, question. Okay, fine. So again, I don't want this 4 link. So again, I will just differentiate between this regular link and this link. I'll just try to find out the difference. What is the difference in the DOM structure? Now I will just go for the last link, not last link actually, this Stack Overflow link. Yeah, this one. I will just look for this. You can observe any link from this. So it's in the li. Okay, in the list we can say. And observing the link, this one. This is a first link which is we don't want from the footer. Okay, So I'm seeing the pattern. We are seeing the A in the division, div tag. Okay, and here in the it's in li. Okay, but we want now we identify that there is a difference between these tags, which we want having the li tag and remaining the 4 we don't want that having the div tag. Okay, so if you are putting the div at the starting, we will get all the links which are the below one, 4 below 4. But we want link which are present in the which are present with the li tag. So I will just put the li at the start. So now I'm getting 12. That is expected. Okay. So you have to observe the norm structure, and based on that you can just write XPath.
So Yogesh, whatever links we are expecting, I believe these are 12, right?
Yes, 12,
Yeah.
right?
So these all are under li tag, right?
li tag, right? Yes, I can just show you as well. That's fine. You can see.
But
It's in
but
li.
but when you're not excluding the first 3 ones,
Mm-hmm.
then why like when you given the li tag, then it's excluding all of 12 of them.
Is it? Then that's another approach. We can do that as well. That's fine. It's giving
Yes,
the 14 now.
when you remove li, okay. See, it's giving 14, and the first where you remove li,
I'll remove the li. That's fine.
now yeah,
It's
now
giving
it's
16.
excluding 3.
Yes. Got it.
It's going wrong, no? Somewhere like where you said we need to exclude the first 3 ones.
Yeah, we excluded it, right? In this, we are not getting first 3. You can see this is 1 of 16, right? 1 of 16 is
Okay.
first link is this one. We are not getting these links. These are excluding from this XPath.
Okay, so excluding 3 of them, there are more 16 links on the page.
Yes, I'm just removing this code as well. You can see we are getting 19 now.
Okay. I got confused. Okay.
Okay, fine. So according to based on pattern on the DOM, you have to identify which element, not about this is about link only. You have to, if you can deal with the another text box, checkbox also, you have to just observe the pattern. What is difference between which you want, which you don't want, and just make a difference there, and just try to look around based on that your observation. Okay, so our XPath is ready for the finding the links. So this is find elements I'm using. Previously I was using the find element. Okay, so there is a difference of s. Okay, it will simply return me the 12, just yeah, 12 web element, list of 12 web elements. Okay, so now if I want to print all these links present on the UI, I will simply print this by using this find elements. Okay, so now return type of this find elements is list of web element. If you don't know, simply go inside this. We can copy from here, paste it here, just give some name here, list of web elements is equal to. Okay, so I'll just apply the for loop here. I'll just apply the for each. Now I'm applying for each means this for loop will iterate till suppose size is 12, so it will just iterate for 12 times. Okay, so one by one it will take first web element, then second web element, then say third, then fourth, then fifth, like way. Okay, so now this is a web elements, this is a web element, this is single one. Okay, so from single we can get the text. Okay, so I'll just putting web element, I'm just taking this web element dot get text, and I will simply print that to show the output. Now I'll execute this code.
Sir, here we only get the test name of the links, right?
Yeah, text
Web dot.
of that links, right?
Okay. We don't go inside the link.
No. I'm just getting the links list only. I'm not
Right.
clicking on that link. But you are getting the text means you can perform any action, right? You can simply use the click option there. So it will just go inside
Okay.
that link. Actually, I have not written the code to go inside this resources. Okay, I just manually clicked there. Okay, so it printed all the links, this MD and this. Okay. So intention is to tell that find elements can be used to get a multiple web elements from the UI. That was the intention here.
And so finding pattern for XPath, we have to look into anchor tag like list, class dev, what inside in list, what
Yeah,
inside in.
yes. You can look for the class name as well. In some cases, it's active. In some cases, there is no active. Suppose
Yeah.
if you are clicking on any radio button, suppose there are radio button, you are clicking on the one radio button, so it is getting class name as a active. For passive, for which is not selected, we will not give this active. There is a different way of designing the development pattern actually. So it's depend on completer or developer. So how developer is developing, based on that we have to create our locators. It is not there is no global practice that we can just put. Suppose just we want to observe this DOM structure, and based on that we have to write locator. Right.
Yogesh, can you explain that for loop that you have?
Which one? Can you repeat?
For
Uh,
each.
for each, yeah.
Okay, for each. Okay, fine. So for each means suppose we know this is the web elements. Okay, having 12 web element, right? For me. So suppose if I want to iterate the list, this web element list 12 times, so I will simply use this for loop. So it will, I don't want to use the normal loop. Simply I'll just go for the normal loop as well. So you'll understand more clearly. For this normal loop I'm writing integer I is equal to 0.
Because you have given the this XPath
Okay.
of LIA, that's why it is selecting only 12, right, sir?
Yes,
And
right.
if
Of course.
we if we simply put a tag over there, then it will select entire
It will select
link.
19 approx.
Okay.
Because
So
there are
there are some invisible
Yeah, it will
this one
also
also.
select. It will select invisible as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you should know how to iterate the list. Don't think about the list of web element kind of thing. It's a list only. Okay. So we can just like do like this only. Length. We think there is size method. Then I plus plus. And simply we can go with the.
So even this is also valid, right? The normal traditional for loop that
Yeah,
we use.
this is a valid. But what happen if you put the incorrect index here? Why are going with that? There is chances if I don't know the coding properly. I've just put the one, and the loop might go wrong. Right. So to avoid these kind of things, just use this for each, and there is no harm. You can simply, you will get this in this way. Simply I'm just putting for control space, and you are getting this option for each. It will simply take a list here, and it will simply create loop for you. That's fine.
Actually, we have never used this for each loop, right? So not much aware about that.
No, there is nothing actually. It's working as it is. Only we have to don't mention this increment auto increment, and we don't have to initialize this part. That's the only difference between this enhanced for loop and this normal for loop.
Yeah, also the inner for loop or for each loop cannot traverse backward.
Yes, yeah. This cannot be backward. Yes, right. It's only forward. So in this normal for loop, we can just traverse backward as well. Okay. So this is normal for loop from line number 20. And this is enhanced for loop. So if you want to navigate forward in traverse forward, then always use this one. This is a preferred. Other if you don't know this, you can go with this as well. That's fine. But it might mess up with this index. So I'll just complete the code. Okay, like this. Instead of this one line, I have to write this line in the normal for loop. Okay. We just put plus sign. Okay, I'll just print this again.
Sir, index value is wrong here. I equal
Yes,
to
yes,
1.
yes. That's why if I don't know coding, it will go wrong. Now I'll see the output here in the console. Where is the console? Yeah.
You have to start from 1 only because we are given less than or equal to.
Yes, 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 yes. Right. So you can see this is the first output and this is second output. Okay. Yes. So you can see output is same, but I got this exception because I have put this equal condition.
Okay,
Here,
okay.
right. So this is again headache. If you don't know, if you're not understanding, so forget about this. Go with this. Whenever we're starting with 1, we have to use equal. Otherwise, we don't have to use equal in the for loop, normal for loop. Okay. So this is use of find element. Now this is a traditional way. So I'll just show you this on the page factory. It's a similar again. We can just create this kind of locator in the our page, this page. Okay. Here, in different way by using by class. Okay. So I got 5 chat actually, and just I was not reading. Okay. From Shakti, for each loop is used to iterate over the array list collection. Cable recommended you to use each for loop in case of about 3 comes under the best practice. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So guys, any questions? So if there is no question, we can wrap up. Actually, I was planning to review that XPath assignment as well today, but I have not got time. So we'll review that tomorrow.
Sir, we didn't got the questions.
Yes, sir.
So if you can share, then we can
Actually, I
definitely.
shared with the Shri. I think Shri is on the call. No. So I'm not sure how I can share. Let
So you
me.
can share in chat window, sir.
It's actually there is some limitation actually in chat window. Let me try.
So you can do one thing. You can just compress this file and share.
Can compress. Okay. Actually, I have not shared any file through the Zoom meeting. Let me try. This is XPath assignment. I think I have to attach from. I'm just looking for the option to attach.
Try to drag it, sir. Drag and drop.
In the chat window.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, yes, right. I think yeah, it's sent successfully. Perfect. You can see that everyone
Yes.
is able to see that, right? Fine. So there is some trick XPath as well. So try to create that. So you will just if you have any question, just get back to me tomorrow.
So I am having a problem.
Yes, Nagendra.
So I created the test cases, but it's getting failed. Before method is working, then it doesn't go to test.
Then have you used this course concept inheritance? Have you extended test case with the best test page? This one.
So I can extend the class best test case, but
Can
after
you
that,
share your screen?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Guys, if you have any question, then stay back. Otherwise, you can drop out. Thank you.
Could you just show us the last thing you did today?